Well, Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agrees.
Elaborate, sometimes days-long parties by coercing victims through drugs, threats, and manipulation. They claim to have video evidence, and some of the accusations echo details from over 70 civil lawsuits filed against Combs over the last 30 years.
She did, and when the judge did, Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
At trial, Combs will ditch the jail garb and wear ordinary clothes. As his lawyers argue, the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
Back up a little bit, please.
How can you support your father? How do you support him moving forward?
What made you come here to support Puff?
I'm supporting Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing his innocence, and I know he's innocent. So
you say you know he's innocent?
1,000%.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars. A magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, my concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
He knows the deck is stacked against him. They've got a ton of evidence. Take the plea deal, dude. Just take it.
Well, my guess is that, because we don't know the deal of the plea deal. At least I don't think we do.
True.
Okay.
This is going to be such a massive trial, like maybe the biggest Hollywood trial. God knows which way it's going to go. Is it going to go on for weeks? And
for sure, weeks.
Federal trafficking, racketeering, and charges beginning Monday morning.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted.
Would you be open to a plea bargain?
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, and for everybody who's been targeted by the federal government.
Diddy just said no to a plea deal that could have saved him from a lifetime behind bars. Why? What does he know that the rest of us don't? Because behind the courtroom doors, federal prosecutors aren't just going after Sean Diddy Combs the artist, they're coming for the mogul, the brand, the empire. What started as whispers of lavish parties and tabloid drama has now exploded into a federal RICO case, with prosecutors calling it an exploitation enterprise. The stakes? Life in prison, a $140 million asset seizure, and a witness list that reads like the credits of a Netflix scandal series. From encrypted messages and hotel logs to bodyguards flipping under oath, it's all coming out. And it's ugly. So how did one of hip-hop's biggest icons end up on trial like a cartel kingpin? Let's break it down. It was supposed to be a routine day of jury selection. May 5th, Diddy showed up to the Manhattan Federal Courthouse dressed in a navy wool suit, rimless glasses, and the kind of calm swagger only a billionaire could fake under pressure. But the calm shattered fast. Before a single juror took an oath, Judge Arun Subramanian cracked a few jokes, even poking fun at Diddy's never-ending list of stage names. Reporters chuckled. The room relaxed. Then came the charges. 5 felony counts, 2 involving the transport of individuals across state lines for illicit purposes, 1 conspiracy count. No one was laughing anymore. Federal prosecutors painted a chilling picture, a long-running scheme where young women were flown across the country, lured by promises of modeling gigs, music video roles, and luxury experiences, only to be controlled, silenced, and used. Diddy, he pled not guilty, and when offered a plea deal, he refused. According to Assistant U.S. Attorney Rachel Collins, this wasn't just flashy living, this was organized manipulation. Prosecutors say Diddy used shell companies, a carefully chosen staff, and piles of NDAs to shield himself while pulling the strings. Trips to Vegas, Miami, and LA? They weren't just for business. Court documents allege that women were flown in, placed in 5-star hotels, and surrounded by hired security who made sure they stayed put. Their movement was restricted, their privacy erased, and it was all done, prosecutors say, to maintain the illusion of the bad boy lifestyle while hiding the darker reality. The accusations? Force, pressure, and deceit, wrapped in designer labels.
Do you still think that, because there is this public perception, that there are celebrity tapes involved in this case?
No.
Do you still think that there are minors involved in this case?
I'm certain no.
Okay.
And again, when you say this case, we're talking the criminal case.
The criminal case.
In the
correct.
criminal,
I know that.
In the criminal case,
right.
no.
Now, the government's not just going after Diddy the man, they want the empire. They're targeting over $140 million in assets. That includes his Beverly Hills mansion, a Long Island estate, and even the masters to Bad Boy Records, the catalog that built his name. Spotify saw a sharp drop in monthly listeners after news broke. Sean John, his fashion label, halted a summer collab. His alcohol deal with Diageo? Dead. Even Revolt Media installed a temporary board as advertisers started backing away. And as the courtroom pressure climbs, Diddy has handed over control of several of his business ventures. The walls are closing in. The prosecution isn't pulling punches. Over 20 witnesses have been named, including former employees, doctors, airline staff, and even 2 bodyguards who have since flipped. One of those bodyguards claims there was a secret red code protocol at Diddy's parties, a system to confiscate phones and eliminate any trace of what happened inside. The other? He says he personally delivered envelopes of cash to shady drop-off locations. Both were granted immunity. And that's not all. Cassie Ventura, yes, the same Cassie who reached a private settlement with Diddy last year, has been subpoenaed. Prosecutors want her for potential rebuttal testimony. That means if Diddy tries to downplay the allegations, they're ready to bring her in. This isn't just a trial, it's a reckoning.
Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York, ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case. They urged the judge to remand him.
Diddy's lawyer, Benjamin Braffman, is a heavy hitter, and he's swinging hard. His argument? This is all flash and gossip. The relationships were consensual. The gifts, the trips, the NDAs, standard fare in the entertainment industry. He says the government has built their case on rumor and revenge. He claims text messages from one accuser prove gratitude, not coercion. One message even thanked Diddy for changing my life. But prosecutors say those messages don't prove consent, they prove financial control. That's manipulation, not love. And they're not stopping there. They've got encrypted messages, bank transfers, hotel key logs, and even private jet itineraries. Every step tracked, every receipt logged. Here's where things get serious. The government isn't just charging Diddy with individual crimes, they're going after him under RICO laws. That's the same tactic used to convict mob bosses and drug kingpins. It allows prosecutors to tie together years of alleged crimes under one giant conspiracy. If convicted under RICO, the court can stack sentences, strip assets, end careers. Legal analysts are calling this the R. Kelly strategy, and it's working. Already, prosecutors have introduced surveillance footage, nearly 900 pages of financial records, and over 48 digital exhibits. Even the IRS has stepped in, launching a separate audit into unreported income linked to Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. They haven't filed tax charges yet, but they've made it clear they're ready if needed. The judge isn't taking any chances. This trial is high profile, high stakes, and high pressure. The jury will be anonymous and partially sequestered. Each potential juror has to fill out a 120-question survey covering everything from their media habits to their thoughts on celebrity abuse scandals. Outside the courtroom, protesters hold signs. Fans play bad boy hits on boomboxes. Inside, silence and strategy. Even jury selection has become a battlefield, with just 9 jurors provisionally cleared from a pool of 150 in the first 48 hours. Everyone's watching. Every move matters. Cassie's 2016 hotel video? Admissible. Encrypted chat logs and ride-share receipts? Admissible. Room key data from hotels in Miami, Vegas, and LA? Admissible. Prosecutors are painting a picture where every move was tracked, controlled, and choreographed. They claim Diddy used luxury, influence, and fear to control victims, and then erased the digital footprints behind NDAs and hush money payments. And now, 2 more accusers are set to testify under pseudonyms. One claims she was scouted at a nightclub, promised a modeling career, and ended up recorded without consent. She says she was threatened with blacklisting if she ever spoke out. If convicted on the most serious charges, Diddy faces a minimum of 15 years, with the potential to spend the rest of his life behind bars. But it's not just prison. Under RICO, the court could completely dismantle everything: homes, businesses, and the legacy he built. His team argues that this is just another celebrity witch hunt. They're bringing in forensic accountants, entertainment lawyers, even music industry consultants to argue that these NDAs and payments were business as usual. Still, the prosecution's case grows stronger. And as the trial date approaches, momentum is not on Diddy's side. The judge has banned phrases like hush money to avoid bias, but everyone knows what's really at stake. Opening statements are scheduled for May 12th. Prosecutors say this will be the biggest celebrity trial since R. Kelly. And unlike past scandals that stayed civil, this one could land Diddy in a federal prison, stripped of his brand, his fortune, and his freedom. He's still silent in court. No public statements. Just long stares and quiet exchanges with his lawyers. So what happens now? Is this the fall of a music legend? Or the latest chapter in a long line of takedowns targeting powerful black men in entertainment? Only the jury can decide. What do you think? Is Diddy just another celebrity caught in the crosshairs, or is the empire finally crumbling under its own weight? Let us know in the comments. If you want the truth behind the headlines, subscribe and hit the bell. We'll keep you updated on every twist, every leak, and every explosive testimony as this trial unfolds. Because this isn't just a court case, it's history in the making.